Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're having an incredibly, amazingly, fantastically spectacular day, morning, afternoon, or evening. Leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing or hitting that little notification bell helps out the channel immensely. What a difference a day makes. That means multiple things, because one, I finally slept. Yeah, I know it's not exciting to you, but for those of you who missed the last 4 videos, I was waking up every night at 3 in the morning, and then yesterday I woke up at 4 in the morning. So that was super fun, knowing that my body didn't get enough sleep. But now I slept the whole day or night through. I slept. The point is, I'm feeling a lot better. I don't feel like The Walking Dead anymore. Also, that means, a lot of stuff has changed in the cryptocurrency space in the last 24 hours. I'm not sure what happened in 24 hours, but I'm glad for it. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Bitcoin price targets a stretch to 19,000 US dollars as Bitcoin jumps 4% from daily lows. Somewhere out in the universe, something happened and the entire cryptocurrency space has begun to jump. Everything is in nearly, I think everything's in green as far as I could tell from the prices that I was looking at. And compared to yesterday, you saw yesterday's video title. Every single price news thing that we had yesterday was like doom, chaos, apocalypse, recession, depression's right around the corner, prices will keep dropping. Remember, there was that article that was talking about Ethereum is on its way to $900. Yeah, for some reason, all that's wiped away because now everyone's talking about how strong the market is and how great things are going to happen and where we're headed from this. And I'm like, well, that's cool. What happened to all the doom and gloom from yesterday? Apparently, everyone forgot about it. It says Bitcoin price regained strength. Why Bitcoin could surpass $18,000 this time. It's because it's going up. And usually when things go up, people keep thinking that they're going to go up forever. Top crypto gainers of the day. Apparently Chain. Okay. Terra Classic and Trust Wallet soar over 5%. There are a lot of altcoins. This is just typically normal. If Bitcoin goes up by 2 or 3% and Ethereum goes up by 4%, the other coins that have less value, that makes sense, less value and less trading volume tend to pump up a lot more as well. It's like some of those days we'll see that Bitcoin's up by 5%, and there's some random coin that's up by 27% at the exact same time. So that's nice for people who are holding altcoins. That's fantastic. This says this factor may propel Ether's price by more than 20% in Q1 of 2023. Once again, the 24-hour time difference is absolutely spectacular. There were tons of websites that were talking about Ethereum was going to crumble and collapse, how much lower we had to go. Remember I showed you the news that all the other crypto people were talking about, oh no, poor Ethereum, it has to go so much lower. And now today we're talking about how Ethereum could pump by 20% in Q1. So, dramatic change of time. It says Ethereum price bulls hold strong. Indicators suggest a fresh rally to 1,400 US dollars. Ethereum addresses holding 32 Ether or more are on the rise. This on-chain data is showing. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, everyone should know this. In order to create new Ether, you can stake your Ether, but if you want to run your own node, your own validator, and do it by yourself as opposed to joining a staking pool, you need 32 Ether to be able to do so. And it is the most popular cryptocurrency number in the world, referring to Ethereum, because before the merge happened, everyone was rushing to get their 32 ETH to be able to stake their own coins by themselves. We've also been getting a dramatically significant amount of whale news in the last couple of days. Just in general, as the normal trend is, prices go down, everyone gets scared, people sell off their coins, whales begin to buy, and it's always the same thing. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. I think whales, or rather the richest addresses, now own more than 66% of all Ethereum because everyone else kept on selling. So of course they were going to buy at lower numbers. If you're talking about Ethereum hit like $1,100 and banks and institutions who've been buying up Ether are expecting a $10,000 to $15,000 Ethereum, well, of course they're going to buy your Ether that you sold off at a lower price. That's just always how it ends up working out. It says and I don't know why there's a grilled cheese there. It says why the halving event will push Bitcoin's price to reach $100,000 in 2024. I guess maybe we've completely walked through the door. That looks really delicious. I haven't had breakfast yet, and it's just looking. Anyway, the point is, for those of you, if this is your first upcoming halving, welcome, because you remember how like the Sam Bankman-Fried FTX news was basically all we heard about for the last like 9.5 months. It wasn't that long, but it sounds accurate. The halving is also going to be the majorest news of next year. Bitcoin supply gets cut in half every 4 years. It's 2024, the next one that's going to happen. Next year is anticipated to be. No one knows this for certain, but gosh darn it if people won't stop talking about it. Next year is expected to be a majorly awesome, fantastical year for prices as we slide on into 2024, which is supposed to be the next dramatic halving. So we've had other halvings before. The issuance rate goes down from 50, then 25, then 12.5, yada, yada, yada. But the 2024 era is something that it's crazy to think that this much time has passed and like we're almost near the year 2024. Talking about that the 2024, 2028, and 2032 halvings are meant to be the most dramatic halvings that we've had thus far as people not only getting into the cryptocurrency space, because you can see all the metrics, like you've seen maybe the charts before where they show like there's 1 million people into Bitcoin. There are 35 new people on average who get into Bitcoin every single day. If we continue with these metrics, by the time we get to 2024 and 2028 and 2032, I think we're expected to have 1 billion people into Bitcoin by the year 2032. And if we have that many people and this many coins are circulating and the supply has dropped by this much and only this much is coming out per month, this is how you get to these weird, wacky numbers of $1 million Bitcoin, a $5 million Bitcoin, etc., especially with all this like institutional support and interest that we are now seeing. So the general idea is, this is quoted from a number of analysts and a number of experts, and I'm air quoting the expert part. But everyone's expecting Bitcoin to surpass its previous all-time high of $70,000 next year. As we gear up to get to another dramatic Bitcoin halving where people will once again realize that there's not a lot of Bitcoin out there, and the people will begin to panic trying to buy more Bitcoin, realizing that there's not enough because over the course of the last like 4 years, the largest wallets or even just normal people in general continue to buy Satoshis all the time. I told you all before this way, if you manage to buy 1 million Satoshis a day, and you do that over the course of 100 days, that's an entire Bitcoin. There are tons of people who are buying tons of Satoshis every day, every week, or every month. It adds up very, very fast as there are 8 billion people on the planet. And the only website that actually had what's really going on, it says Bitcoin and Ethereum jump with stocks, on the job report release. So apparently what happened was, as I've been looking around, there was a new job release report or something came out that basically indicated that the jobless numbers in the United States have increased. Why would stocks and crypto go up on that? Well, from what I gathered, is that basically as the jobless numbers have increased, it could be an indication that the Federal Reserve will slow down the policies that they've been doing as this is hurting the economy, i.e., they raise interest rates and companies do bad, jobless numbers go up. So if they are forced to then stop raising interest rates at a dramatic number and or stop them altogether, companies can improve, companies can make more money. If they do that, they have more room to hire people. That's kind of the inverse correlation, I guess, if you will. It says stocks close higher. S&P 500 snaps 5-day losing streak. Yep, we keep hearing about how stocks are doing terrible, stocks are doing bad. And then eventually at some point there's something that kind of turns the entire thing around. It says S&P 500 closes higher to end longest losing streak since October. I think this may just be generalized levels of optimism. There's a lot of analysts and stuff like that who are now going on to news saying that, like, it appears that stocks have bottomed. Like, if there would be any other, like, rapid decrease, we'd be seeing another drop by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% per day. We'd see more catastrophic price movements, if you will, along the lines of stocks. But it appears now whenever there is any type of bad news, or we hear about that there's going to be a recession, or we hear that the Federal Reserve might be doing X, stocks will move down, but it's typically around like 0.5%, maybe 1%, not as heavily as it was before, indicating that people are not in the mood, I don't know, to sell off their stocks or their assets as rapidly anymore. So we've kind of reached the exhaustion point. This is why we were also hearing the exact same thing about the cryptocurrency space. I believe it was a couple of days ago. A lot of people do believe that we have bottomed price-wise, that things may not go any deeper or that much lower. So we may have days where we fall by 2 or 3% off of some type of bad news, but the 14 to 22% drops may have subsided at the exact same time. So on that note, that's all the price news that we have. Very different from yesterday's price news where everything was woe is us and how horrible things would be for the cryptocurrency space in the future. Stocks are up. Cryptocurrencies up because of it as well. And let's see if we can have some type of I think they call it a Santa Claus rally. I think it sounds cringy, but I'm pretty sure that that's exactly what they call it. So let's see as we move closer to Christmas if everyone gains a little bit more optimism. That's all the price news. And yeah, let's move on. In the most popular news story of the day, Ethereum's core developers determined on a call on Thursday that a network upgrade permitting users to withdraw their Ether could launch as early as March of next year. For those of you who were not here, earlier this year, and even more so since 2016, the idea was and has always been that Ethereum would be transitioning to a proof-of-stake model, i.e. no more thousands of computers. You can simply use your laptop to create new Ether. You can run your own node as long as you have 32 Ether. Cool, amazing. So that upgrade finally happened. Everyone lost their minds. It was the greatest thing in the entire world. Prices continue to fall for some reason because I think a lot of people don't understand exactly what the upgrade was. However, a lot of people were like, oh, that's cool. I can stake my Ether, or people have been pre-staking before. The issue is that people realized you can't take it out because it wasn't part of the last upgrade. Sounds silly, I know. You would assume that they would allow people to be able to take out what they put inside, but that wasn't part of the plan. In the months following Ethereum's historic, successfully executed merge upgrade in September, the network's developers weighed what updates to include in their next upgrade, which is going to be Shanghai. Many improvements. Jock-eyed? Is that a word? I've never seen jock-eyed, like the word jock and then eyed. Okay, for consideration, and different factions of developers lobby to have their priorities included, but one upgrade in particular rose to the top of almost every single list: the staked ethereal withdrawals. When the merge transitioned Ethereum to a proof-of-stake consensus mechanism, it changed how the network generated ETH. Ethereum holders can now deposit their existing ETH into the network in order to generate new ETH. The more you deposit, the greater the yield. That's how most things work. There's only one hitch. You can't get any of that ETH back yet. So, slight problem when it comes to that. With some 19 billion, that is 19 billion with a B dollars worth of Ether currently staked within the network, according to data aggregated on Dune Analytics. It was little surprise that Ethereum developers agreed today that enabling ETH withdrawals would be indeed included as a key feature in the Shanghai upgrade. The developers also expressed, however, that if any other upgrades included in Shanghai slows its ability to be released by March, those improvements may be put on hold to ensure stake ETH withdrawals is rolled out as soon as possible. So as you might have imagined, and for those of you who missed it, it's kind of a lot in one ball, but I'll try and give you the best that I can. There's a lot of institutional support for Ethereum. We've known this for a long amount of time. This is why a lot of times over the course of years, every time that someone told me that there was a new coin popping up that would be the Ethereum destroyer or getting rid of Ethereum or a rival to Ethereum, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And 90% of these coins have completely disappeared. I think the only one that's still flopping around is Cardano. And that's basically roughly about it at this point. The Enterprise Ethereum Alliance was launched, I believe, in 2017 or 2018. It's roughly around 500 companies, Microsoft, JP Morgan Chase, you name it, who all agreed at some point that they would be backing Ethereum and also be using Ethereum as well. These institutions are not only sitting on the sidelines waiting for Ethereum to become great, mighty, awesome, and spectacular, they also probably logically have been staking their Ether as well. The issue is that I'm pretty sure that they want a circulating ecosystem. So if you put something into it, you should be able to get something out, not put something into it and it kind of just sits there until you get another upgrade. So this is going to be possibly one of the larger iterations of movement for the actual network. People need to be able to know that. Like I told you all before, like I plan on staking Ether as well, but I have not staked my Ether because I want to be able to know that I can take my money out. It is a very important thing for my mindset in general to know that I am going to be receiving money on the screen and I can click a button and then get that money out once again. So this is why I think we saw a very large 4% jump after this news was released that this upgrade is on the way, and even as soon as March. And even more so, I like that the developers also announced, should another upgrade or update get in the way, they will push those further back and make sure that this is prioritized for the actual network. There's a reason why there's $19 billion worth of ETH locked inside of the ecosystem. One of the largest fears and one of the things that you are going to hear about as we move further and closer to March. Now, this it's always the same. It's the same culprits, the same people over and over and over. They will begin to tell you that Ether's price may collapse as people take their money out. That's absolute nonsense because I believe it's going to be on a tiered or staggered kind of thing. So apparently you've been able to like pre-stake your coins into the network and other nets that were out there. I think since 2020. I think that's the time frame that we were given before. So it's apparently supposed to be like a first in, first out kind of thing. So the first people who were staking their coins, they will be able to get their coins out of it first. The entire idea of staking is to be able to put your coins into a network to be able to not strengthen it. I don't know. I can't remember, find the word. Why do I always do that? I always like miss like a very, like, I'm like bird. I always miss a very simple word somewhere out there. Basically to like secure the security of the network. So it's the same for Cardano. It's the same for every other proof of stake coin. If everyone unstakes at the exact same time, the network collapses. No one is incentivized ever to pull all of their coins out or unstake all of their coins at the exact same time because the proof of stake network would completely collapse. It's the same exact way for proof of work. If everyone, sync their watches and unplug their computers at the exact same time, Bitcoin would literally cease to exist. So as far as I understand it, it's meant to be the first ones who started staking will then get their coins, and it'll come out in a staggered way like this, which is very smart because I'm pretty sure a lot of people would try to panic. But the point is, the news that you are going to hear is that people pulling their ETH out of the network is going to cause a price drop, i.e. tons of people are taking their coins out to be able to sell them. That's actually a large part of that is nonsense. It's going to be similar to the way that we see dividend stocks. A lot of people, the idea is you hold this stock. And every single month or every single quarter, you get money from the stock that you are holding. What most people do is they then take that money that they received as a dividend and they re-roll it back into the stock to be able to get more stock so that your dividend is actually higher during the next period. So anyway, this is the Shanghai news. It is the most popular news story of the day. I joked about this in September and October. I was like, okay, we finally have the merge. We finally have, proof of stake. when will the next upgrade arrive? Because we heard about Ethereum 2.0 back in 2016. It took them 6 years to do it. So I was like, okay, people won't be able to unstake their coins for a number of years. But it's nice to see that this upgrade is right around the corner. Yep, it says Ethereum Shanghai upgrade is expected to be released in March 2023. Ethereum developers target March 2023 for Shanghai hard fork. Ethereum developers are to release staked Ether in March 2023. I believe that was it for the tabs that I have up there. So amazing. Hope the upgrade happens. Hope that it works. Hope people can take their money out of the network. It's very important. You need to be able to, other proof of stake coins, you can put your coins into it and, unstake them and take your money out at will. So I think for the largest blockchain on the planet, that's also quite importante as well. Yeah. That's the Ethereum next upgrade is apparently sometime in March 2023 news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in popular news, and I'm like, okay, Starbucks Odyssey's journey has opened its beta program to waitlist members in the United States. The program is Web3 inspired and will include immersive coffee experiences and NFTs. Feedback from beta testers will shape the innovations and experiences of the program before public launch in January 2023. The coffee house will make more invitations to more users in public. So the idea is, for those of you who missed it before, Starbucks is launching NFTs, and I think this is supposed to be an extension of their rewards program, that along with the rewards, you will also be receiving an NFT with it, or there will be certain NFTs that you can use inside of a metaverse or something along those lines. It says Starbucks has always served as the third place, okay? A place between home, oh, that's so cringy. A place between home and work where you feel the warmth of connection over coffee, community, and belonging. That's a stretch. The Starbucks Odyssey experience will extend the third place connection into the digital world. It says it right there. This was said by Starbucks's chief marketing officer. So yeah, I think I get why it was popular news, but it's also just Starbucks. So I don't, I am unaware if we are going to be able to taste coffee in the metaverse, or also are they expecting people to walk around with digitally empty cups in the metaverse as well? I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but I know someone's going to buy it. I know someone's going to use it as well. I have a lot of friends who like Starbucks. I have one friend in particular. She used to go 6 times a day. And I was trying not to Starbucks shame her, but I was like, have you ever written down how much you're spending in one day? It was basically I think 5 or 6 pounds per cup I think she was spending. She was always getting a venti. And I was like, okay, Mold, do your daily cost. And I was like, do your monthly cost. And I was like, at the end of the year, how much are you spending on Starbucks? And it was basically enough for a down payment on a small apartment. But that's kind of, it's not even besides the point. It was just, she was just drinking a lot of Starbucks. That's the Starbucks NFTs waitlist apparently is now open, and people thought this was cool. So that's the Starbucks news. I said Starbucks news. And yeah, let's move on. Also but this is always popular news every single time this thing ends up happening. According to the Bank of Spain, the research, apparently they didn't write the rest of the sentence. Apparently they're researching into their central bank digital currency and how well it can adjust to the needs and demands of an increasingly digital society. For those of you who missed it over and over again, countries don't understand that people don't want central bank digital currencies. Or rather, they're pretending and lying to everyone to make it seem as if everyone wants a central bank digital currency. Countries are doing this because they are trying to find another way to be able to control all money and assets that are flowing into and out of, air quotes, of the country. And they're doing this through the means, by digital means. There was a news report from the 80s or early 90s discussing why governments would want people in the future to use more credit cards or whatever, other digital means of payment. It basically has to do with monetary controls. There's a reason why a number of countries restrict you from taking money out of the country, or you have to ask for permission from your bank if you're trying to do a large money transfer. I was discussing with a woman who works in my bank something about moving large amounts of money or things in and out of crypto and something like that. And she was like, okay, if you do this, she looked panicked. She was like, okay, make sure you message me and email me and then try and call me as well. And I was like, it's not even that serious. But apparently those numbers that I was quoting to her were so large that, you need to be able to tell them. The Bank of Spain, the Central Bank of Spain, I don't know why they had to say that twice, says it plans to start testing wholesale central bank digital currencies and is looking for partnership proposals from regional financial and technological organizations. According to a translated December 5th statement, the bank will concentrate on 3 areas with the program that seek to simulate the movement of funds, experiment with the liquidation of financial assets, and analyze the advantages and disadvantages of introducing a wholesale central bank digital currency to its current processes and infrastructure. I don't understand this, and I mean this not jokingly. I don't understand why the Central Bank of Europe isn't doing this, because they're the ones who create the euro. If Spain creates their own central bank digital currency and France does it and Germany does it, doesn't that cause a huge amount of extra friction when sending money around Europe? Because it has to pass through different controls and different systems, as opposed to just one digital euro that is created and everyone can simply use that one. So every single time that we get news that a country is, and this used to be heavily stupid news years ago. A lot of people writing the articles didn't understand that central bank digital currencies were not cryptocurrencies. So they used to write the articles in the way that a country is going to start using a blockchain and create a central bank digital currency, and how great and amazing this was for the adoption of Bitcoin. And it's no, it's actually the exact opposite. They don't like Bitcoin because Bitcoin, they can't track and trace around the world, and they don't want that information. They want the information to be able to say where money is going. But anyway, so cool. I don't think this is the most exciting thing in the entire world. We know that every country is trying to create their own central bank digital currency. They're all going to fail, or people aren't going to use them. How do I know this? Because I think there's 5 other countries who have also created a central bank digital currency, and no one's using it. Literally no one is using it. We had news the other day that in the Bahamas, I believe it was the Bahamas, I think less than half of 1% of people are using it. And I think the usage is probably just coming from the actual government. We don't need these things. We already have digital forms of payment that can be tracked and traced, but that's not enough for the government. They want to stop the actual usage of paper money because they believe that, fraudulent things are happening with the paper money. So the only way to get extreme control is by issuing a central bank digital currency that everyone is then forced to then use, and they can tell where every single transaction is going. But the idea of privacy will completely disappear for the planet. So that's going to be completely fun unless we actually have people realizing why we have Bitcoin and they start using Lightning and other stuff like that, then maybe we can live on a better planet. So that's the Central Bank of Spain is going to be testing a central bank digital currency. You should not care about this because it's going to be garbage. I don't know how to sugarcoat that one. Alrighty, let's moving along. Also in major news, but this is not really major news. So, and I didn't even have to really read through this one. It says Tether CTO criticizes Coinbase for asking users to convert their Tether to USDC. USDC, I believe, is the Coinbase coin, if you will. So, a couple of months ago, we heard that Binance was going to be delisting pairs for nearly every other stablecoin that was on their platform. A lot of people were like, oh, it's because the other stablecoins are garbage and yada yada, which they are. Let's be completely honest here. But the idea is that Binance realized that they could essentially, on their own centralized platform, could monopolize the usage of their stablecoin, i.e., if you have 12 other stablecoins and everyone's using all 12 of them, what happens when you just force them to only use yours and Tether? Well, you start getting all of the revenue that would have been pushed into the other coins, the usage, the network data, yada, 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 yada. You get all the money from it. Coinbase which previously was the number one cryptocurrency exchange, is now, I believe, the number two cryptocurrency exchange. And they're probably just trying to do exactly what Binance did, because Coinbase always just kind of copies now, which is very weird, because they were the industry leader, but they don't do anything, and they have extremely high fees. Sometimes they have like staking programs, and some of their fees go up to 25%, which is just fantastic for their business model. So what they're probably doing right now is just telling people to stop using Tether, but they're also like criticizing Tether as well. So if you look into it, like they're telling people that Coinbase's coin is more trusted, and Tether may have XYZ happening with it behind the scenes, which I find really weird that they would even think of saying something like that out loud, which could potentially cause another panic into people being lied to and believing that something is wrong with Tether. And then just got to think a little bit further when you're saying all these things. So, this was very popular news. I think a lot of people fell for propaganda a number of years ago when they were told to hate Ripple and XRP, and B, this was also a same thing in 2017 when people were told to hate Tether. Is Tether real? Is Tether so-and-so? Why were people told that? Because other companies were realizing that they should have created a stable coin years ago. The first people to do it were Tether, and then people were trying to discredit Tether because they were creating their own stable coins. It's the same. It's just a loop of money. Everyone lies to try and push their product up higher than everyone else's. So as it is right now, a lot of new stable coins are not really launching because governments have kind of caught on and realized that people prefer to actually use stable coins a lot of times over the US dollar or even over the euro. Why are they doing this? Because of lower fees, or they can't be traced as much, or whatever the situation might actually be. So this was popular because I think people are looking for drama in some sort of way. It does make sense as a centralized entity that Coinbase would want their coin being used more than another coin that they did not create that's currently on their platform. So will people do this? I don't think so. I think Tether is the largest stable coin that we have right now. I think it has the most trading volume of every other stable coin in the entire world. It says Coinbase highlights questions about Tether reserves in campaign to get users over to USDC. They're playing with molten fire right there, because Tether has proved their reserves multiple times. If they're trying to get the largest stable coin to have less usage and to collapse, or to try and depeg it from its current peg, everyone's going to blame Coinbase, because if Tether collapses, the cryptocurrency market collapses. People don't realize how fragile the cryptocurrency space actually is. When we get billions and billions and trillions, essentially, of more dollars into the space, things will become less fragile. But everything that we have now is kind of a one-of. We don't have hundreds of companies in the space that are reputable. We mainly have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, and other companies who are trying to raise up to their ranks. I don't care if you agree with me or not. I'm telling you exactly how the cryptocurrency space actually works out. These are like the heavyweights in the space. If you try to mess with them, everything else will also collapse. If you mess with Bitcoin, every other coin's price will also collapse. If you try to mess with Ethereum, same exact thing. This is why the news that we had earlier this year, and I told you, I was like, these people need to stop what they're doing, because they're so busy trying to put their foot forward to make it seem like that they're the better ones, that they're going to destroy the entire industry based off of their stupidity and greed. Remember earlier this year when the Tether stablecoin, no, not Tether, the Terra Luna stablecoin began to depeg, and everyone was like, no, the sky's falling, and began to panic. The real problem is that there were tons of attacks on other stable coins, and those stable coins began to depeg as well. The issue was that for a couple of hours, there were attacks on Tether, and Tether depegged, and all the other coins' prices began to collapse as well, because everything is tied to everything else within the industry. So the major news story of the day, or one of them, if you will, is that Coinbase is telling people to switch from Tether to the USDC coin because people probably aren't using it. We like Coinbase is basically the Facebook of the cryptocurrency space. Their platform is easy to use. It's only a couple of clicks, but if you look at their fees and how the actual thing is set up, it's terrible. It's absolutely horrible. Like, why would anyone want to use it? I've been telling you all about Coinbase for a number of years. Like, and there's been a couple of times where there was like a positive news article about Coinbase, and I almost vomited as I was saying it. Coinbase is the Facebook of the cryptocurrency space. They're a very smooth, round version of what people think crypto is supposed to look like. But no, they're not. They're not actually it. So sure, why not? I would rather let all of you choose because it's your money. So if you're using stablecoin, I would usually myself go for the one that has the most liquidity, and that's Tether. I also don't want to touch anything from Coinbase in general. It just doesn't, That's the Coinbase is asking people to stop using Tether and to use their coin because they probably want more revenue from the usage of their coin. And I can only assume that the usage of it has been declining as Tether and other new stable coins begin to pop up into existence. News. Yeah. Let's move on. Also oh gosh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear this news. That was a joke, by the way. Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, has confirmed that every Bitcoin that is in circulation on the platform has now been accounted for. During the Changpeng Sao forced... Anyway, the point is, after the collapse of FTX, for some reason, the idea of proof of reserves then became important to every cryptocurrency exchange. Not before, not years ago, not the idea that tons of people are using, millions and hundreds of millions of people are using our exchanges. Maybe we should let them know that we actually have the money that we claim that we have. And then FTX collapsed and everyone was like, oh, now we should do proof of reserves. So Binance has walked to the top of the mountain and they have told everyone that all their cryptocurrencies that they have on their platform are completely accounted for, which I could have assumed before, but sure, why not? Due to the audit, every user on the exchange can verify the security of their Bitcoin balance by examining public blockchain information. On the 22nd of November, Binance's Bitcoin was found to be collateralized at a rate of 101%. Wow! By the auditing firm Mazars Veritas? Okay. This suggests that the Bitcoin holdings are just slightly more than its liabilities or customers' assets of 575,000 Bitcoin. So customers have 575,000 Bitcoin on Binance, but Binance is holding 582,000 on their platform. Bitcoin circulating on Ethereum, Binance's chain, and Binance Smart Chain are also included in this category. For those of you who don't know what that means, you can wrap up a Bitcoin and use it on another network, and that's what it also means as well. So all their wrapped Bitcoin is also accounted for. I wish that we didn't have to have a 6-week fiasco for everyone to know that Binance actually had the coins that they were saying that they had before. Expect other cryptocurrency exchanges to do the exact same thing, to announce what they have for their audit. And also, pay attention to the crypto exchanges who don't announce this information. Because once again, FTX was not the only exchange that did what they did. A lot of them are running on credit. A lot of them are running on debt. A lot of them have been over-leveraging for years, assuming that no one was going to actually find out what they were doing. And this is why FTX was like, oh no, my gosh, I can't believe that someone did that. How would anyone else have been doing the exact same thing for the last couple of years? That's terrible. So good job, Binance. I'm glad that you actually have the money that you said that you had over the course of the last 6 or 7 years. It should not have taken this long, but alas, good job on not lying to your customers. That's the Binance reserves are backed. According to their auditor, Mazars, that is Mazars, fantastico. Let's move on. All the rest of the news is like a runoff to, or runoff of, if you will, the catastrophic news that we've been getting over the course of the last 6 weeks. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Ripple CTO names 3 things that went terribly wrong with FTX. I would probably say all of it, and I'm pretty sure there are other companies that are just as terrible. FTX drama goes on. Sam Bankman-Fried and Su Tzu, that is ZHUSU, Trade blows over alleged media control. So everyone who did something fraudulent before is now pointing fingers at Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX because they're looking for like a free pass kind of thing, or I think maybe even trying to like rebrand their image within the cryptocurrency space. And once again, these are people who are allegedly, and I say that, strongly, allegedly in trouble because of other collapsed platforms, or allegedly, wink, have stolen other people's funds over the course of the last year and or last 2 years. So yesterday we had news that the guy from, the guy who allegedly caused the collapse of Terra Luna, Do Kwon, pointed all 5 of his fingers at Sam Bankman-Fried and said that he's the reason for Terra Luna's collapse. Because, you got to deflect in some sort of way. So now Tsu is also saying the exact same thing as well. Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyers fails to retort testimony call. What's next? So apparently he's been asked by somebody in America, I don't know, don't really care who, to go on stage and basically talk about the terrible things that he did. And apparently they didn't respond in enough time. And now people are very upset at what he did not do. So you thought he was a criminal before, and because he doesn't want to testify, you're all shocked now? That's the major news. On top of that, this isn't even crypto news, but this made very popular cryptocurrency news, and I'm still not sure why. The US FTC opposes Activision Blizzard's acquisition by Microsoft. So for those of you who don't know, have you ever played Monopoly? You know the reason why we have the game Monopoly is because in the 1910s and 20s and 30s, we realized very heavily that a lot of companies were creating monopolies. I don't know why I'm saying it that way, but that's just how I'm going to say that word. And the idea is that if you have enough money, you can acquire what you want, when you want, how you want. Part of the problem is if a company controls everything, then they are everything. So Microsoft, Amazon, Google, you name it, they each all own thousands of companies, not hundreds, the thousands. Like they own an enormous amount of companies. And now Microsoft is trying to acquire Activision Blizzard, which is they make tons of games. Not a lot of them are that good, but they're very, very popular. And for some reason, US something is trying to stop the acquisition. And I'm like, why stop there? Why stop at this one particular one when Microsoft already owns a huge amount of companies and stuff like that as well? So I don't really get why this was so popular. Like this had nothing to do with crypto, but this was also prominent news of the day that was floating around. The SEC cautions companies to disclose exposure to crypto businesses. The US SEC is having a very tough time realizing that they can't have as much control over the entire world that they want. So now they're telling any company if they have any exposure to anything that has to do with cryptocurrencies, they must now report this to the SEC. They're using this under the idea that because of the collapse of FTX, which was the worst thing that we've ever experienced in the entire world of humanity, that just in case that something else ends up collapsing, that the SEC will then know if a company had exposure to another company that potentially is probably going to end up collapsing in the future. Why does this make any sense? It doesn't, because it does absolutely nothing. Telling the SEC that you have exposure to a cryptocurrency company means absolutely nothing if that company is just going to eventually collapse and people are going to use their money. Is the SEC going to give people their money back after the collapse of another company? No. You understand what I'm saying? The idea of them explaining or telling the SEC that they have exposure to a cryptocurrency company does nothing. It simply gives the SEC more control over X company by saying that we know what they're invested in, what they have, blah, 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 blah. But if we find out that company A has invested or is into crypto and they've invested into companies B, C, D, E, F, and B, C, D, E, F all collapse in 2023 and the company A goes under, why did the SEC have to know? What was the point of them knowing that the other company? So just another way to try and get control. And a lot of people are talking about, oh, the SEC won't stop. But the SEC is not regulating anything. They don't actually care about the American public because they would have given cryptocurrency regulations back in 2017. The US is the only country on the planet that still does not have cryptocurrency regulations. We've been hearing about over and over again how many companies have left the United States because the US SEC and subsequently also who has less power, CFTC, haven't given any regulations. What do you expect people to do? They leave your country, though. They go make money somewhere else, because that's, just how things are. Also in, what? No, that's crazy. We found out that Kevin O'Leary, the guy from Shark Bank or Shark TV show, whatever it's called, apparently lost $15 million from FTX. How did he lose that money? Because he was their spokesperson. What? Surprise. Yeah, you work with garbage, you get garbage. So remember sometime last week we heard that, and I remember reading it because I showed you all. This is why I make sure to show you the screen so you know that I'm not just making up crap. We had news that Kevin O'Leary was like that he would still work with Sam Bankman-Fried because he was a good guy. And I was like, huh. Well, that seems to be completely different from what every other person is saying. So it appears that after all this time, we're finding out now that Kevin O'Leary was paid $15 million to be the spokesperson of FTX. How weird, right? That wasn't disclosed to all of us. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but somewhere out there, I can only assume that allegedly at some point, Kevin O'Leary was probably talking about FTX super positively and people didn't probably even know that he was paid $15 million to do so. Which also makes a lot of sense as to why he would still work with him, because they were giving him money. So once again, if you work with garbage, you end up receiving garbage back in your hand. And he also is complaining now that because of the collapse of the garbage exchange, that he lost around $10 million. Oh, but I'm pretty sure he's either a 800 millionaire and or a billionaire. I feel like with the dramatic obsession that people have with him in the cryptocurrency space, I assume he's a billionaire, because that just seems to be like the fetish that a lot of people have. They love these men who are billionaires, I think, because they aspire to be them in some sort of way. So cool. This was also super popular news because a lot of people are shocked. Not joking. People are shocked that he was working with FTX and was paid $15 million by them. Like, what won't shock people in this space? Do you know that the fruit orange is called orange because it's orange? Did you know that? Is that also shocking to you as well? No one was shocked when this man said he would still work with Sam Bankman-Fried last week? That's the Kevin O'Leary news. Very fascinating as well. Also in the news, it says FTX founder wanted to strike a deal with Taylor Swift. Why is this news? So remember how I told you like 3 weeks ago, I was like, all the news that we're getting isn't really relevant to anything. Never forget this part. Bitcoin is not FTX. FTX is not Bitcoin. FTX does not and did not run on the Bitcoin blockchain. Bitcoin is 3 transactions per second. They're not the same thing. Why were you all told by other crypto YouTubers and other experts out there to sell off your coins, to sell off your Bitcoin and your Ether, and to panic because FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange that was not Bitcoin and was not crypto, began to collapse? The amount of news, and I'm showing you all these news in this portion of the video because I want you to really understand how deep the stupidity, but also like the corruption goes within the space. Remember, we had news last week. It was Miami nightclubs are suffering because of the collapse of FTX. Really? That's crazy. You mean that FTX was the entire cryptocurrency space and people can't... Oh, it's not? Oh, that's weird. So the news, this has been popular news for the last 2 days. That apparently FTX was trying to work with Taylor Swift. Is Taylor Swift a blockchain? Is Taylor Swift a Bitcoin? What exactly is this news supposed to, like, what exactly am I supposed to be getting from this news? That a cryptocurrency exchange was trying to work with a celebrity, because all of them have done that. Binance has done it. I believe Binance has done it. Coinbase has done it. They've all had like a celebrity sit on their platform or desk or chair at some point to promote something. Remember when Ripple had Bill Clinton and what's the other guy? The guy from Punk'd, Mashton Musha, or something like that. So they all do it. So am I supposed to? Is Taylor Swift supposed to strike fear in my heart because they were trying to work with Taylor Swift? That's terrible. Let me go sell off my Bitcoin. This was popular news for the last 2 days. I'm not certain what this is supposed to invoke in me as an emotion, but sure, why not? Why not work with her? It didn't. What was the thing like 2 weeks ago? Everyone was talking about it online. Weren't her concert tickets like $25,000 or something like? I'm not gonna even say anything negative about her. I know nothing about her. I personally do not care for her music and don't. There's not a band on this earth that I would even. And listen. I could be worth $800 million if I saw that someone had $25,000 concert tickets that weren't backstage or me eating linguine with them after. Like, for $25,000, I need to go home with Taylor Swift and me and her need to go play Monopoly. Like, there's no way on this earth that I would even, there's no celebrity who I would even want to hang out with for that amount of money. Oh my gosh, remember when, what's this guy's name? The guy from Justin's Son. Didn't he pay over like $1 million to have lunch with Warren Buffett and that never happened? I just don't understand the space sometimes. It's just a lot of nonsensical stuff that's going on. And also, it says U.S. Senator calls Sam Bankman-Fried to answer for failure of FTX and Alameda Research. Sure, why not? I don't know who this man is, but I think everyone's trying to show power or that they have power or do something along those lines. I'm not really sure what it is, but sure, Mr. U.S. Senator, I hope that your words strike fear into the heart of Sam Bankman-Fried and that Sam Bankman-Fried? I'm going to say Fried. Sure. I don't know. This was also popular. The cryptocurrency space is really weird. I wonder if people who write these articles think that these politicians actually have power. Like, what was it yesterday? I think Maxine Waters, I think is her name, was asking or telling Sam Bankman-Fried that he needed to testify. And it's like, do you think that that's, I just got an email from Maxine Waters. I have to go to America now. I don't think that's how anything actually works. So I maybe just like the symbolism of it, but it also, so, okay, here I am, TMI, Sam Bankman-Fried. So can someone write an article about me? I'm calling out Sam Bankman-Fried. You need to go to America right now and testify for the illegal things that you were doing, because the things that you were doing were the same exact things that every single bank and other cryptocurrency exchanges. How dare you use leverage to be able to use other people's money the same exact way that a bank is doing it? Leave your comfortable home in the Bahamas and go to America right now and sit on a stage and tell everybody that you were doing what we already know that you did, because you agreed to it 12 times. What was that thing a couple days ago where he said 12 times during a speech that basically he did something that was, illegal, if you will. So, yeah, just wanted to show you all the stupid news, because there's always tons of it every single day. And a lot of times during the end of a video or in the middle of a video, I'm like, oh my gosh, I read something yesterday, and none of you have any idea what I'm talking about. But now you know. See, most of the news in the cryptocurrency space actually ends up being quite stupid, because that's just where our market currently is right now. That's the Sam Bankman-Fried, Activision, Blizzard, FTX, SEC, 123, Alameda Research news. Wow, that was a lot. All right. Let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Martin Steuer, Bodie McBoatface, Sam Ratter, Dotha, Diddy, Manny, Cryptos, Crypto. Is today Friday? Happy Friday. Wow, I didn't know what today's was. Crypto Gambino, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, and let's move on. Empire Queen, Roman Gaba, Bitcoin, Ben Arachno, Dave the Dealer, Zen Cap, the Something in the Z-Way, Lame Over, Razi, VBNR, 21, Lord, Silver, Quarter Bitty, Troy, All Good, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Patrick, Noster, Navarro, Williams, Utopia, 569, Moonman, High XRP, Nostroma, John Sarson, The Animal, Rita, Bilbiophobia, Adam, Grayson, Wise Night, Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold, VD, Setsuna, Paxis, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Jester Crypto, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, and On Crypto with Lionel. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who left a like, a comment, has subscribed, or is still here listening to me about how I told you all weeks ago this was nonsense, the entire FTX thing. It is a cryptocurrency exchange. They weren't God's gift to the planet. The fact that everyone was told to be terrified and sell off their coins was one of the craziest pieces of price manipulation I have ever seen in the cryptocurrency space. And then all the whales bought up all your coins. I hope a lot of you, anyway, I cannot and will not ever tell you what to do with your money, but just know that if you sold off your coins, you made some whales very full and a lot richer. Bitcoin is currently up by 2.37%. There's a jump up right there, but now it's going completely sideways. This is not normal market activity. Bitcoin is going completely sideways after it jumped up because manipulation. Ethereum is up by 4%. It went wee and then completely going sideways as well. Binance coin is up by 1.99%. XRP is up by 1.3%. Dogecoin is up by 2%. Polygon is up by 3% as well. OKB is up by 2.3%. Litecoin is up by 3.9%. Anything else crazy? Everything is up by between 1 to 2% right now. Quant is up by 5.2% with $29 million trading volume, which means if you have $28 million and you push it into that coin, that's why the coin's price is up. Internet Computer is up by 6%, also on $33 million of trading volume, so that's probably another bit of manipulazione. EOS is up by 6.5% with $500 million trading volume. There was no EOS news. There's been no EOS news. I don't know what the EOS is going on, but something's happening. Trust Wallet is up by 7%, $100 million trading volume, not the most in the entire world. Elron eGold is up by 3%, $59 million, also not a lot as well. Some of these coins don't have a lot of. Pax Dollar has $1 million of trading volume. Yeah, so 99% of coins are in green. Let's see what happens when the U.S. stock market opens up. Will we remain in green? Find out next time on TMIZ. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, commenting, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, listening to me rant about random things within the cryptocurrency space. I hope you have a great Friday, a great weekend. I hope it's absolutely incredible. Make sure, as always, to do something fun for yourself. Go play a video game. I've been replaying video games and I feel great. Go out on a walk, go see some friends, go out and do something that makes you smile. It is very, very important. Otherwise, you will lose your sanity. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.